The thumbnail for this video implies that the say strip can act as a calculator. On the command line is say plus the mathematical formula, 5 squared plus 5 times 4, which is 25 plus 20 for a total of 45. Press enter and the result is 45. Pretty cool and awesome if that can actually be done in 5 lines. However, say is so much more than just a calculator. Continue to watch to find out how much more. Howdy, this is Dinosaur Parkour. Faster, better, mainframe programming. I'm your host, Chris P. Fried. The topic for today's video is say, a REXX strip, more than just a calculator. I wrote say 5 to prove that this REXX set could be written in 5 lines. The formula is on the command line. The action is say 5 instead of stay. Pressing enter gives us 45 just like the prior example. So yes, it can be written in 5 lines. This shows the official version, meaning that it has comment and better formatting. Still super short at just 14 lines. The magic is on line 12, the interpret command. That allows you to build REXX expressions as a string and tell the REXX interpreter to execute them. So line 12 invokes the say instruction with whatever the user entered on the command line after the word say. In our example, say 5 * 2 plus 5 * 4 was parsed and executed by line 12. We will quickly discuss what the other lines of this strip do, and I will explain why I said this is so much more than just a calculator. If you think this video is useful for mainframe programmers, give that thumbs up icon a boost. Let YouTube know this is a useful video. Lines 1 through 5 are a comment block, and line 1 is the most important. It was in the 5-line version. Line 1 tells the system that this strip is using REXX instead of CLS. Line 6 tells ISR edit to accept the parm from the command line using the edit command named macro. If you issue the say command while editing a member, that line works. Whatever is on the command line after the say is now in a variable named parm. However, if you are not editing a member, line 6 fails. Lines 7 through 9 handle that. Line 7 detects that the edit command macro failed. Line 8 accepts the parm using the REXX command parse. If you hang with me until the end of the video, you will learn how these lines help with an interesting edit panel gotcha. Some folks looking at line 8 are thinking you could have coded that as argparm. However, argparm is short for parse upper argparm. I used the parse arg because I do not want the command line argument to be folded to uppercase. Lines 11 and 13 are adding some blank lines around the result to make it prettier. Line 14 returns control to whichever panel invokes say and tells ISPF to put the cursor on the command line. Now that the code review is out of the way, let's talk about why this is more than just a calculator. I was working on this REXX, and I decided to use the overlay function. Line 17 took 2 lines before I decided to try the overlay function. I used the say strip to test the overlay function before I used it on line 17. Look at the command line. I want the letter J to replace the 6th character of the member name. That is a quick little test to see if the J overlays the number 6 and only the number 6. When we press enter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, J, 7, 8. The 6th character was overlaid and only the 6th character. That is my desired outcome. So I replaced the longer string concatenation that was coded across 2 lines with the overlay function. That is why the say strip is so much more than just a calculator. It is a quick way to test REXX stuff. If you're not sure what that abbrev does on line 17, test it. On the command line, say is being invoked as an edit macro with the abbreviation function. An odd error is returned after pressing enter. Let's press PF1 to get expanded help. Put an ending quote at the end of the string. There are open and end quotes for both of the strings in that function call. This is the gotcha that I mentioned earlier. This is not an error with the say strip. Control was never passed to the strip. The edit panel is fussing about a missing quote, which is not actually missing. We just saw say work with a quoted string when testing the overlay function, but for this abbrev function, edit throws an error. Best I can determine, the issue occurs when multiple quoted strings are coded within open and close paren. Remove the paren and the say strip is invoked. The problem is that it does not do what we want because the function call is formatted incorrectly without the paren. There is a workaround. Remember, I mentioned it while reviewing lines 7 through 9. Invoke say as a TSO command rather than as a macro. When you get the incomplete string message, move the cursor to the start of the say command. Insert TSO before the say command. Press enter to invoke say as a TSO command. It worked. It returns 0 because testing does not start with TST. Let's retrieve the prior command. Place the cursor on the E in testing and delete it. This variation of abbrev should get a different result. Let's press enter and see. 1 is returned because the string did start with TST. There you have it. A better than a calculator command that I named say. It can be used to try out REXX function. It can also be used to calculate math expression. A handy little strip that helps you be a better and faster programmer, especially a programmer of REXX. This has been another episode of Dinosaur Parkour. Faster, better mainframe programming. Thank you for listening. Please consider subscribing to the Dinosaur Parkour channel if you found this video useful. There should be a subscribe icon on the screen.